So it's Dylan Durr here with Outdoor X Media, and we're here at the Iowa Deer Classic, and we're going to go over some things with a couple boys from, one of them's from my area, the other one's from southern Iowa, and we're going to do a little talking about what we think how deer season went, and I think we're going to maybe dabble into some controversial stuff. You want to introduce yourself, boys?
I'm Connor Van Zee. I'm friends with Dylan Durr, around the same area. They're from Montezuma.
Spencer Hall here. I'm friends with both of them, distantly, but I'm down in Decatur County in Lineville, Iowa.
He kills a little bit bigger deer than we do, but it's not fair.
I try, but I'm in a little bit of area.
So got quite the herd down there.
And then we also have Casey. She's in here. She's kind of listening in. She might dabble in.
My name is Casey Gilhausen, and I'm from northern Wisconsin, Shawano County area.
So which deer we want to first start talking about?
Let's talk about Connor's bow buck this year or the 1 year before.
Oh, if we go into this year, all I really got to say about that one is I was pretty lucky. I had a really good friend of mine, Colton Moore. I was actually going to do a little bit of doe management on some ground of mine in Mahaska County. I had a few Mahaska County archery tags, and I was running out there, and then I was going to go down to my grandpa's ground.
He stopped you on the road, right?
Yeah, we ran into each other on the road, and we were sitting there talking for a little bit, and he asked what I was doing. So he's like, well, come down and hunt on me. I got my blind down here, and he had his food plots and everything that he put out this summer, and he had no problem just going down there and take a couple does off there if we could. And this mystery buck shows up out of nowhere.
No pictures, right?
No pictures of this deer at all. I mean, there's the neighbors that hunt this river bottom, and they run cell cams there all year, and they put food plots, do everything else. And there's no pictures of this deer at all. It's a complete mystery buck.
So from a ground blind?
Yep. Or no, we're in a raised blind when we
Raised
shot
blind.
him. Yep. And we're in a food plot that he just put up that year, and he hadn't done that at all. And started down there, and he'd had some pictures of some nice deer down there, but they were all young, and we could tell that they were young, so we're going to leave them or whatever. And this deer comes out, and he told me, he's like, you need to shoot that. I'm like, dude, I'm hunting on you. I can't shoot this deer, man. He's like, if you don't shoot him, he's never going to get shot again. He's going to be gone. This is a mystery buck. So I'm like, all right. And this deer comes out, and he stops at 20 yards where there was no shooting lane right there.
And your release was broke, right?
Yeah, earlier when we were sitting there in the blind, I was messing with my thumb release, and the set screw broke on it. So I had to go clear back, and I ended up being able to tighten it. And I think I shoved like a little bit of sand and a stick in there to make it work.
Oh my God.
Happened. Just whatever we had in the blind, I was on the floor.
I would have panicked.
Oh yeah. When that deer came out, I was like, oh my God, my release is broke. What am I going to do right now?
And so we're talking about this deer. You just got him scored. What did he ended up scoring at?
He came out at 172 and an eighth, typical, and he made all-time Boone.
Clean 10. Clean
Yep.
10. Super
Clean
clean 10.
10.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome. It's a
Thank
good
you.
story.
And you want to get into last year's deer yet? You already talked about last year's?
Yeah,
Omega?
talk about the big boy, Connor.
Last year I shot a 188 and a quarter, not on my
wow,
grandpa's
good.
ground, and so we manage that ground. My dad and I, we do quite a bit of work down there, and we do food plots and hinge cutting. I mean, if you can name it, we do it down there. Down there as much as we can, and so we fight the neighbor, not fight, but they have cows that run on the ground, and my grandpa lets them run on there, so we're constantly kind of going back and forth with that, trying to build fence and keep them out of food plots and stuff. So
It's cool when you actually put in the work and then the work finally pays off.
Yeah.
I've hunted a lot of public land, and it's like when it finally pays off, it's a great feeling.
yes, it is.
Is this
Put
the
in
same
all that work.
property you passed that buck this year after you shot your deer?
Yeah,
Is that
so-
same property?
Yeah,
was
this
wondering if
year
that
I
was
went
it.
down there, and I've had pictures of this deer a lot. I call him Cricket Brow just because he got a brow tine that's super cricket. It almost touches the other one. And I'd seen him multiple times, and I was trying to put my dad on this deer. So I went down there, and I had doe tags for that county, and I sat on the opposite side of the farm of where, so we'd been seeing this
This is
deer.
like a week
on the-
after you shot your
Yeah.
buck, right?
I'd been seeing this deer on the north side of the farm on cameras, and he'd consistently been running the same path. So I sat Dad over there and put up a stand for him that day, and I sat on the very far south fence line of that farm. And
And you
I
videotaped him
yeah.
coming out.
I
it's
didn't
a cool
do
video.
anything. He comes out of I have a video of him coming out of the pine trees, and he comes out at 12 yards and walks in front of me, and he stops broadside and just looks like looking around.
Could be anywhere perfect.
Yeah, he had his nose in the air, smelling for does, and It was a cool encounter seeing him there for sure.
And we're talking about 160 plus inch deer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
typical. I mean, this deer's,
we questioned like 170s
Yeah.
possibly. It was-
I mean, this deer's a dreamer for most people. I mean, and you have to sit there and watch him walk away.
It was pretty cool being able to video him though and have that encounter.
Can we do 3 years in a row? Is that what you're thinking?
I'm hoping so. That'd be pretty sweet.
3 monsters in a row? I'd love to see it.
I would too.
And so back to your deer you shot last year. You
Yep.
shot him down on that farm.
So we'd never hunted this area of the farm. We'd always thought it was just like a, I don't know, odd area, I guess. But I figured out that there's a doe bedding area, so it's kind of a transition area for deer. It's one of those spots where you're going to go, and if you see a deer, it's going to be the deer. So I put up a stand there, and Dad told me, he's like, I don't know if you should sit there. I think it's just a waste of your time. I'm like, I don't know. I got a feeling about this spot. And then
Because you were sending me trail cam pictures. You're like, dude, I think this deer's hitting this spot. And I was like, go hit it. If he's hitting it, why
Don't know
not?
if you
It's a
don't
scrape.
try.
Right. And there's no service down there, so I didn't have any Bell run any cell cams down there, so I just had the traditional trail cameras. And I went out and checked him, and I saw this deer on there, and he'd been consistently hitting that spot. And I was like, okay, now's the time. I
Game
need to be
on.
sitting down there. And I took Friday off work, and I hunted Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all day, morning and night. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to take Monday off. I want to hunt Monday morning. I'll be in the afternoon. So I took the morning off Monday, and I was sitting there. I hadn't seen a single deer, and all of a sudden I look up, and I can see this deer from 200 yards away just coming in. He had his nose down, and he was smelling, and I watched him jump the fence. We own both sides of the property, so he was on ours, and then jumped over the fence, and I watched him hit a scrape, and he came down to 6 yards, and I had to get on my tippy toes in the tree stand to be able to go down and shoot
So I have
him.
a question. Does it make you more nervous, like watching them come in from so far away rather than just showing up right
Oh,
there?
definitely, for
Yeah,
sure.
okay.
I think so.
Because
Yeah.
I hunted Illinois and I had to watch one walk like 200 yards, and it was like I was losing it.
Yep.
Rather than just show up, draw back, and shoot.
Right.
It's a lot
Your nerves
easier
start building up and
Yeah.
everything, and
The suspense is
Yeah.
kind of a
But
killer.
everyone has a bubble. I mean, at some point you're a stone cold killer, and I mean, you have your bubble. Some people it's for 50 yards, it's 100 yards, and
Right.
it doesn't matter.
when you watch deer of that caliber, though, come in, and your buck fever is a real thing.
Yeah.
You
I
get to
know.
shaking, and then after that, it's almost like you just black out in a sense. You know what you need to do, and you go through with it.
Yeah, because you didn't even call me. It was Dakota. Dakota called me. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, dude, Connor shot a big one. I'm like, that one he had on camera? He goes, oh, yeah. Like, he's stuck him. And you were kind of worried about him, but you guys didn't track him very far, did you?
No, he only went, I think, 125 yards from where I shot him. But the angle that I shot him at, I was quite a ways up in this tree because I didn't have very much cover. So I knew I needed to get high in that tree. And he was a little bit quartering, too. So I shot him down, and the exit hole, actually, his large intestines plugged the exit hole, so he just bled internally. And we couldn't see any of the blood or track him at all, so it was more or less just a search.
And on top of it, he brought it back, and first thing he brought it in, I looked at it. It's like, this deer's stellar. I knew instantly. I was like, it's a 180 class deer.
Without a doubt.
But his body was small. And so you got a mage, right?
You know,
And
went
he
4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
That is a mega whitetail at 4.5 years old.
Shoot 188-inch whitetail at 4.5 is pretty impressive.
You don't see 4-year-olds that big very often.
No.
There's some good genetics on that farm.
On the hoof, you would have 5+. You'd been like, nah, he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't know a single person that would see that deer and not say, yeah, he's done.
I mean, speaking of big deer, you brought a pretty good set of sheds right now, sitting in first place, right?
Yeah, I got a nice set deer I call Nubs. He's a 6-year-old. I cannot catch up to him whatsoever at all. He's got me patterned before I got him patterned. There's no doubt about it. I'm hoping he blows up. We've talked about it a little bit, and there's a chance for him to be something really special. I mean, everyone scores a little differently, so he's at 150 with his net score over there. It's just straight bones, no spread, but he's going to be a good one next year.
And you how old do you think this deer is? You got a clue? Thinking 5'6"?
Yeah, I mean, from the trail cam pictures, I have a picture of him in 2021 where we believed he was a 4-year-old, 3-year-old, which he was in the 150 range, and now he's showing up, and I actually found his sheds on a spot I left specifically for him on a corn plot, and we're hoping next year that he shows up.
Well, hopefully that old age gets him settled down to a smaller area. I mean, that's my biggest thing is I like letting them get old. The older they are, it seems like they shrink down. If he's shedding there, he's hanging out there.
Well, we ran into a little problem. Connor, I talked to Connor a lot about whitetails and stuff long before I met you, Durr, but he got really, really, really sick. I mean, he lost 60 pounds there, in 2 weeks probably, Connor? And
yeah, we share trail cam pictures back and forth quite a bit. And he was sending me this deer all summer, and he's like, I think I got an idea where he's at, and then all that EHD and stuff happened this year, and we were worried sick about him there for a while because he hadn't been showing up.
Just losing deer. I mean, I lost 3 deer over 170 this year to EHD that were all 4 or 5 year old deer, and I'm like, I just was talking to Connor. I'm like, he's dead. I mean, he's got to be dead. So went over to the neighboring property that my old man owns, and then a property that I manage and help out on, and shot an older buck, kind of a management deer, and sure as crap, he showed up about 2 weeks later, and I was calling Connor. I'm like, that
Messed
thing.
up.
So I went after him late muzzleloader, and turns out his sheds were sitting there the whole entire time when I was hunting that corn
Shit
plot
early.
that he was on. And now they say when he gets EHD that he'll grow immunity to it. So
So was that around the area where we were sitting? Because there was a huge shed buck when we came down and hunted that late rifle season.
So where you guys were sitting that rifle season, that's where I shot my deer this year, that old 8-point, that real wide one. But this one directly below my house. I mean, never see him though. I believe he travels the river, and I mean, there's times where he's in my main block timber, which is about 300 acres, and then there's times he's on a 2-acre patch on the river. I mean, this deer knows me better than I know myself.
But if he's at that 5 to 6 range, he's pushing. They like to travel quite a bit, especially if he's a dominant buck. He knows he can go to another area and possibly push out another buck to steal more does.
Well, and with this deer, with my history with him and trail cam pictures, he's never had a busted tine. I think he's all about the love. I think he wants nothing with the fight. I mean, he's
a
never
lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, he's never broke anything off ever in the 4 years, 5 years I've had pictures of him. I mean, he's always been clean.
That's about a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yeah.
Sometimes those bully bucks, you can get them in.
call them right in.
Yeah. I guess I got to wear the right perfume when I go in to hunt him, but
A little extra doe estrus.
Yeah.
but we're hoping he'll blow up, and maybe, I don't know if he'll hit 200. I'll take him anywhere at this point, even if he goes down to 150 for the storyline and everything else. And I'd be more than happy to put my hands on him after it'd be 5-6 year quest on him. So
And
So how many years of sheds do you have on him?
just one.
Just one?
This is the only year I've ever found him.
Really?
I've been looking for him for 4 years, and this is the first year I found him.
That's awesome.
got him narrowed down to a pretty good spot.
I hope he stays around.
It's pretty big find, especially his match. That's cool. So you also
Well, how
had
far apart were they, Spencer?
I mean, about 3 inches.
3 inches.
Yeah, I mean, they're right next to each other.
Was it in a bed or?
It was in the corn plot I left specifically for him in that exact area. The last pictures I had of him, my trail cameras died about, January 1, January 2, and we already combined, and I knew he's kind of in the vicinity. I knew he liked to travel back and forth. I'm like, Nubs, I'm going to leave this for you. I hope you use it. If I can't catch up to you before then, I hope I can find your sheds on it. And sure as heck, he dropped him right there on the edge of the corn plot.
Just like you wrote it. You found, or you say you didn't find, but you had a big one get hit. Was it a triple main beam, double
Yeah,
main?
so neighbors across the river, so this deer I'd never had any history with, but a couple buddies were out of town, land management buddies that I do some work with, and they called me up one day and they're like, you need to go up this road, Yukon Road or whatever, and they're like, you need to pick up this deer. I'm like, what deer? And they're like, oh, you'll know it when you see it. It's right there on the side of the road. So I'm like, okay, I get done choring my cows and drive up the road, and sure as heck, there's a 180-inch non-typical laying in the side of the road. And after I discussed with the DNR and worked out a salvage tag, took pictures, sent him pictures, and got the salvage tag for him. I got to cut his head off and drag him off and load him up. And he's boiled out in my house right now, and he's a freak.
He's impressive. Yeah, I saw him. We came down.
He's one you don't see much like.
That's an impressive deer there. That's insane.
You don't see him every day. That's for
And
sure.
it sucks you got hit on the road, and it's like, man, that could have been your target deer.
And they aged him at 4.
4. Oh, wow.
So who knows what he would have became. I mean, they can lose us just as quick as they get him. But
That about makes you sick, though, thinking about that.
So with all the EHD going around and stuff, what are you guys thinking? I mean, I know my thoughts on what I think for Iowa changing possibly to $1 state. Would you guys get behind a $1 state?
All day.
I completely
Or are you guys
agree.
thinking maybe, because this is my thought, I don't want to throw anything to your heads, but my biggest thought is I think you get to keep, per se, like your landowner tag. You can still get a landowner tag and a regular tag if you have your landowners. But past that, I feel like I would be okay with going back to a $1 state.
I think that'd help out deer numbers
But
tremendously.
your landowner, you can do it too. More or less your option.
I agree with that 100%. I mean, all I hunt is really archery. I'll shoot a management buck late season if it comes around, but I'm all for it. Let's keep the deer herd up. And I mean, now with non-residents and stuff, I think it's hard enough to get in, so we can probably keep it the way it is.
Especially
But,
keeping $1.
Yeah,
I could get behind that too. I think let the non-resident get to still hunt. As long as we stick to a $1 state, I think it would save a lot because my doe numbers are down. My deer numbers personally are down.
Oh yeah, I've seen a dramatically decrease in deer number just on my farms that I hunt and manage and work on. I mean, it's dramatically went down from where it was a few years ago for sure.
And then,
We're a $1 state in Wisconsin. Like you can get $1 for archery and then $1 for rifle. Like that's it. And our numbers are up. Like my county, I can get 6 doe tags, but nobody shoots does. Like you can get that many tags, but nobody uses them But that's also a downfall because then there's so many does that the rut isn't a rut anymore because the bucks don't have to move anywhere to find another doe. There's another one 50 yards right there.
it's the same way in southern Iowa. I mean, if you know where a buck is in southern Iowa and you know the general vicinity, there's enough does there. If you can sneak in there in the morning, the odds are you're going to have a real good chance at them.
have you guys ever heard of a thing called shoot a doe, keep a buck? It's you shoot a doe that has a button buck with her, more or less her be her fawn. You shoot her, that deer stays on that farm. I don't know how much truth's to it, but I've seen it happen, and I actually did it 6 years ago, and I swear to God it worked. I don't know how sold I am on it yet. I actually personally don't like shooting does just because our numbers are down, but I did it on one farm and it actually worked.
Okay, explain.
I haven't heard that
So-
one before.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard that
So,
either. So
this buck, he didn't have a mother that would take him from other areas, and so he grew up on this one farm and didn't know better than to leave the farm because it's safe. It's kind of their thought behind it. More or less, he grows up here. He knows this is his home. His mom's gone because a lot of times when they get older, an older buck will kick that fawn off the doe and push him out of the field, push him out of the area.
So that's when you get your bucks that are traveling from different
Yep.
farms.
And so then you get this buck that he's a consistent buck that stays on that farm at all times. And
Okay.
you've seen it. It worked out for me.
Yeah.
Not once, but twice.
Yeah, I've seen that. So, I mean, I could see the thought process behind it for sure. That'd be interesting to see some more, like, trying it yourself, I guess, really.
I mean, I heard of it 5 years ago, thought it was a joke, and then I threw it out there. I was like, I just got to try it. So I waited, saw a young fawn, shot the mom. I was like, all right, maybe he'll stay, maybe
I
he
can't
won't.
believe you'd take a mom away from its baby.
Yeah, I know. I can't do it anymore. I sent
I'm
you
a
guys a
mom
Snapchat.
and I've taken moms away from the babies, but yeah, they're mature. They're about to go on their own anyway. I mean, you gotta learn somehow.
It's part of the management process, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a process trying to get a farm right.
Oh, a complete process.
It's not something that happens overnight by no means.
It's
Really-
over a 5, 6 year, 7 year period.
And trying to do it by yourself, too, is way tougher. You almost need multiple people to hunt the farm and be able to manage it
In the
correctly.
area around it, like where I hunt, like we'll do management all day long, but that deer goes to the next property and that deer's gone. Like any basket rack 8, gone. Doesn't matter. So it's hard to, in some areas where I'm from, to build a property, build a farm when you know they're going to go to the neighbors and get shot.
Yeah, we fight stuff like that in southern Iowa all the time. I mean, we got all these out-of-state guys that are showing up, leaving 100, 200 acres just around the river on me that stand in corn. Well, how am I supposed to compete with that once the rut's over? Where are they going to be? They're going to be where the 100 acres of standing corn is, where they don't have to come out. I mean, At some point, right now, it's at the point where money buys deer.
They're buying their way into a
Yep.
late season tag, a
Yep.
good kill.
Exactly, and they're killing giants where I'm at, and it's frustrating at times. Like, I'm out here doing it right, hanging sets, cutting trees, all this, and then they come in and they pay the farmer that they rent the farm to, and say, leave me 100 acres or 50 acres or 20 acres right here. Well, being a farmer myself and taking all my crop, because that's how farmers are supposed to do it, and
That's how you get paid.
yep.
That's how you make a living.
And then we end up, well, where'd all our deer go? We ain't got no deer. All the deer died. Well, then late season rolls around, we start unloading corn, and oh boy, all these deer start showing back up again when we start unloading corn once that other corn across the river's gone.
And so then over there, kind of where you hunt, you had a pretty good sweet spot where we were sitting at. And you can see for quite a ways.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you get to sit there in your tree stand, look across into the next fields and see all that stuff go down, and you can't say there's no control, but the neighbor has that, and you get to watch it and get to sit back.
So hunting nubs, back to nubs, I was hunting them this year hard. I went and set up a tree stand on the river, and it was overlooking fields, and I watched them dog does all day
Pushing on the neighbor's property.
on the neighbor's property right across the fence. He's 300 yards away from me, running the opposite side of the fence. I'd bleed at him, grunt at him, anything. I mean, once they're locked in on them does, it's near to impossible to pull them off of them. And
Oh, there's no pulling deer off of that. I mean, I'm sure we've all tried. It is very difficult when you run in a scenario like that.
I think you can scream at them sometimes and they don't care.
Right.
I mean, we've all been in a rut a little bit back in the day.
yeah,
Sometimes maybe still to this day.
middle school boy. I mean, that's pretty much what it is.
Get the eye on the prize.
Yep. They got a goal, and they ain't gonna leave nothing for it.
My lips are sealed.
So what have you guys got planned for turkey season this year?
No, we're gonna smack the heads off of them. That's for sure.
You guys going bow?
Oh,
That's the goal. Yeah.
Going headshots, huh?
I'd like to. That'd be pretty sweet.
It's an ultimate goal of mine to do it someday. I just not in it yet. I
Yeah.
shot my first turkey with a bow last year, and it was way better than ever shooting one with a gun.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've chopped a few with a bow, and Connor came down and hunted with me a little bit this year, and he got himself. Was that your first turkey, or was it?
No, I've done a little bit of turkey hunting, but that was one of the better memories. Just being able to do it with a buddy too, sharing memories like that is always cool.
Doubling ups.
Yeah, well-
Doubling ups.
He come down and was helping me work and spotted some birds while we were working, and I said, let's go reap them.
Because we saw a pile of them. We were down there
Oh.
late season. I was like, well, they're
Oh,
kind of
man.
dwindling in my area. I think the raccoons are kind of taking care of some nests.
I'm pretty good at taking care of the raccoons down there. I mean, I have a
see-
lot of fun in the summer hunting.
And so you guys do a little coon calling, don't you?
We're big on
Dogs?
thermals down where we're
thermal.
at, so
And y'all got big coons down by you.
Oh, yeah, they're
I
20,
hunted
30
Iowa,
pounds.
Yeah, like 3 years ago, and they were like freaking baby bears.
Uh-huh.
Like, they were huge. Like, never seen a coon.
they're
size
they're
before.
corn fed, just like the deer.
Yeah, this
And
is
the
nothing to
deer
get
are
30,
much bigger
30
down
pounders all day.
Yeah. I like your does are like our mature bucks up by
Oh, yeah.
us. Like, I couldn't believe the difference in the size of deer from Wisconsin to Iowa.
Oh,
It's crazy.
Me and Connor shot 2 does this year, high power season, and 2 of them filled up the whole entire back of the buggy.
Oh yeah, the amount of fat on those deer too are impressive, and
They're-
they taste amazing too when they have that fat on them. You can tell that they've been eating corn.
Oh, yeah.
They're well fed.
And so you got quite a few turkeys up by your area. What's your plan? We can't count you out. It's your turkey plan for Wisconsin.
So I love turkey hunting. Like, I get more worked up over a turkey gobbling 100 yards from me than you put a 130-inch deer in front of me. Like, turkeys are my thing. Like, they're my jam. I'll buy 6 tags. There's not much
6
prep.
tags? You guys
You can
get
get 6 tags in Wisconsin.
Holy cow.
There's 6 weeks. So you draw for 1 week, and then you can buy the leftovers for the. So I drew second week, and then I'll buy third, fourth, fifth, and sixth week. So yeah, still 5 tags this year. But
It'd be a lot of turkey hunting.
Let's
there.
go to Wisconsin, boys.
I think we should go to Wisconsin, maybe
I
stick one.
told the guys, I was like, I have a group of toms that there's probably 14 in the group, and they no under 7-inch beards. Like, come
That
on,
is impressive.
kill 'em.
Are you go right for the tom, or you shoot that first Jake that walks out?
I've only shot one Jake in my life, and I've been turkey hunting for a long time. My first Tom, my first bird ever. He was 29 pounds, 1.5-inch spurs, and he was a double beard, 7 and 10-inch beard.
Oh my God.
Never shot an 1.5-inch spurs, never shot a double beard.
Yeah,
Yep, I can't say that.
But I've shot a lot of turkeys.
He's full body mounted in my house, but yeah, there's no prep for me for turkey season because they're so.
Kind of silly. They're quick.
They're kind of easy but hard at the same time.
Yeah, especially
Incredibly.
like I usually go for second week because they're not call shy yet. They're easy to come into a decoy. I went for a bow last year. I only took my bow. I've wanted to kill one with a bow for a long time. I've taken my bow and my shotgun, but this was the first year last year that I actually just took the bow and I hit one, couldn't find it.
They're tough.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I was like, oh yeah, like I'm freaking dimes, at 60 yards with my bow, but. Those turkeys they're different. Yeah, they're tough.
They're tough.
You have to
It
hit
took
them
me
just
3
about
years
right
to kill
with
one
the
with
bow.
my bow.
Yeah, and this was the first year that like I solo took my bow, like no shotgun backup, and I should have been tagged out every week, but I told myself in my head I am going with the bow. It's what I'm gonna do. But
It's just like with every animal. Hunt with archery, it just takes it to a whole different extreme.
yeah, it does.
You got to have them
it's
closer too.
nerve-wracking.
I mean, that's the biggest. It's
See,
gotta
and
be
that's
closer.
my thing. Like, I don't like them closer than 40 yards because my heart, I'm chewing on it. Like, I
Oh.
get so worried, and they're like, dude, your decoys have to be like 10 yards. So I'm like, no.
You did you shoot the beast broadhead this year? Switched over. It's-
I loved them.
I don't think I'll ever be shooting another broadhead out of my bow.
They're expensive, but they're top tier.
They are well worth
Josh
the money.
Bomar did do a very, very good job on designing.
I'm
I'm hooked.
incredibly impressed with those broadheads.
It's unreal that he ever came up with something. I mean, it's so close to the rage and the fact that he treated the problem.
Yep.
Getting it to close when it hits a bone
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
and to reopen again. I mean,
You can't. No, I don't know a broadhead that could compete to it.
I've only known of one deer that was shot with it and it's not found, and we know it's dead.
They're pretty impressive. I know you switched to them now, and you guys are all shooting them. And the deer that I shot with them this year, I'll never switch from them.
He crappie flopped right in front of you, didn't he?
I have a video of that doe that I shot down to my grandpa's
Oh
ground.
yeah, she was quick.
Yeah,
that was a quick one.
early October. I was just filling some doe tags down there, trying to do some management on the ground, and I have a video of this one where I shot her at like 20 yards, and you watched her die in the frame within 10 yards.
So, well, boys, I think we're going to shut her down here, but it was awesome having you guys on here, and we'll definitely be a hold of you guys, and hopefully maybe next year we'll come back and get you back on here.
I appreciate you having us, man.
Good luck this year.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, guys.